Hello, this is Pastor John David of United Baptist Church, and today we're going to do our Wednesday devotion for Holy Week. So today we are going to be looking into the book of John, and we're going to be going over John chapter 20, I believe, verses 21 through 21 through 21 through John 13, 21 through 32. There we are. Okay, so let's read the passage first, and then let's meditate on it, and then see what God has to speak for us today. It says, when Jesus had said this, he became troubled in spirit and testified and said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, that one of you will betray me." And the disciples began to look to one another, at a loss to know of what he was speaking. There was reclining on Jesus' bosom one of his disciples whom Jesus loved. So Simon Peter gestured to him and said to him, "Hey, tell us which one of whom he is speaking." And leaning back on Jesus' bosom, he said to him, "Lord, who is it?" And Jesus answered, "That is the one with whom I shall dip the morsel and give it to him." And then when he had dipped the morsel, he took it and gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. After the morsel, Satan entered into him. Therefore Jesus said to him, "What you do, do quickly." No one of those reclining at the table knew for what purpose he said this to him. For some were supposing, because Judas had the money box, that Jesus was saying to him, "Buy these things I have need for in the feast," or else he should give something to the poor. So, receiving the morsel, he went out immediately, and it was night. Therefore, when he had gone out, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and will glorify him immediately." So there's this incredible passage here of Judas betraying Jesus. And they're dipping the bread. Now this is a Passover meal, so they are dipping the bread into either the bitter herbs or the charaset, the sweet herbs, or a mixture of both. But they're dipping the bread into the herbs, the matzah bread, and then he gave it to Judas. It's part of the Passover dinner. We're going to be doing that tonight, by the way, so join us for that. But anyway, there was this question he told to the disciples. He didn't question them, but he just said, "Hey, one of you is going to betray me." And they're all like, "Is it me? Is it me? Is it me?" The only one who wasn't asking the question, "Is it me?" was Judas. And then he went out and did what he did. I think a lot of us, if Jesus were to tell us, "You're going to betray me someday," or "There's some of you in here that are going to betray me," we know that not everyone who believes in Jesus follows through and is faithful to the end. And so how do we know if we're going to be a Judas or not? That's a scary question. But I think if you're asking yourself the question, "Is it me?" then that just proves it's not you. Because that means you care enough to wonder about your own betrayal. You see, Judas wasn't caring. He didn't care about Jesus or betraying Jesus. He was thinking about himself. He was thinking, "You know what? Jesus is going to lose. I've hitched my my train to the bad. I've hitched my cart to the bad horse. This is a losing team," because he could see that Jesus was going to be, not successful in his venture to take over Rome and free the Jewish people from the Roman Empire, because the political leaders weren't following Jesus. The Jewish leaders were not following Jesus. So Judas was never thinking about being faithful to Jesus. He wanted a winning cause. And when he saw that Jesus wasn't winning, he dumped out on Jesus because his selfish needs were more important than his faithfulness to Jesus. And I think if you're asking yourself the question, "Am I going to be a Judas?" that means you're not, because you're concerned about your faithfulness to God. It's the people who go, "You know what? This God thing, I tried it and it didn't work. I need something else. I need to find something else." those are the ones who will end up ditching their faith because it's not a true faith. It is a selfish thing. They're trying to see what they can get out of it. And Judas wanted to be part of the Savior's kingdom, but the Savior being in his mind a conquering king Messiah. And when he saw that Jesus wasn't the conquering king Messiah, he was going to go die on a cross, and he knew in his mind, this is a wrong deal. I'm on a losing team. And so he betrayed Jesus, not because he wanted to betray Jesus, but because he was selfish. And so I just want to encourage you, these words are challenging, but those who are faithful, who love Jesus, will be faithful to the end. And you're going to be the one, if there's ever a question about betraying Jesus, you're going to be, of course, I couldn't do that. I don't want to do that. Why would I do that? And when you're questioning yourself like the disciples were, that's a good thing. It's a good thing to go, would I do that? Would I betray the Lord? Would I? Because you're thinking about the relationship rather than thinking about what you're going to get out of life or what you're going to get out of God or what you're going to get out of anything. It's not even about you. It's about Him. And so on this day, 2,000 years ago, they were close to doing the Passover. They did it either Thursday night or Wednesday night. We're not quite sure, depending on how you count your days. But the point is the same. Jesus was betrayed during Holy Week, and Judas was the one that betrayed him. And let's not be like Judas. Let's be faithful to our God, even through the dark times, and He will do great and mighty things. Lord bless you. Have a good day.